Good morning, Stampers. This is Super Awesome Stamper Shirley Merker. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator from Wisconsin, USA, and I am kicking off this event with the first Facebook Live video demonstration. I am going to just check my computer to make sure I can see the feed and address any comments as they come in. And if anybody's watching, give me a shout out. I know it's early in the United States and it's late in Australia. So I know, and I realize a lot of people will be watching this on replay. So thank you for watching on replay. And away we go. So I got a huge mess on my desk. And believe it or not, by the end of this demonstration, I'll have made this cute little tag and bag liner. This is what's on the back side. So I am featuring the Handmade Wishes stamp set in my segments. So it's a photopolymer stamp set meant to make gift tags because we've got this handy dandy little punch or stamp a stack of holiday cards. And they don't really have to be actually holiday cards either because we've got For You and Handmade and Joy and Wishing You, and you can certainly coordinate or pair this stamp set with a happy birthday as well. Stamp set, and I didn't pull one out of my desk or out of my stack, but yeah, this one is a great one to have around just because it has a punch, and a punch is so easy to use. All right, so let me clear off a few things here. And oh, I see one eyeball. Give me a thumbs up so I know you're watching and that you can hear me. I am using this shaded spruce ink pad because this pattern paper, which I shared the Stampin' Up! Produced video for SantaExpress. That's where this pattern paper comes from. I really like this paper because it has the ho ho ho. And on the back side of the ho 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 is the Santa train. But what I really pointed out in that video comment is on the Santa train, it's actually a snowman, snowwoman train. Snow peeps is what I call them. And it is sharing so much jolly in its expression. This one is for sure going to have to make it into the scrapbook layout. But all my paper is used up. All I have is these strips left. And you'll see in my second project, I still use this snowman or the snow peeps because it is so fun. Anyway, I digress. I just love that little pattern. All right, so I am decorating the Peekaboo bag. And we got to make the little tag here. So why don't I first do the stamping, and that way I can get the paper piercing mat out of the way. So I use the paper piercing mat when I'm using photopolymer stamps because it transfers the ink from the stamp to the paper a little easier. And let's get my project here. Let's flip this around. So I'm just stamping the back of the tag, and I'm lining everything up to the left-hand side. And the way I lined up my stamps is I just laid them on my paper, decided where I wanted them positioned, and then put the acrylic block over it. So you can do a lot of these tags really quickly. And this project came about because I have a lot of these scraps left from SantaExpress, and there's no reason to save them till next year. I'll put some in the scrapbook layout, but I like to minimize my scrap pile as much as possible. So the sizes that I'm giving you are just for my scraps. They don't have to be exact. I did want scraps that are wide enough though to fit the tag, cover up the tag. Oh, and my tip, this is part of my tip video. You want to stamp your outline of the punch at a diagonal and not a square because that is how the punch is orientated. Get my ink pad out of the way. So this punch is orientated as a diagonal and not as a square. So that's just a little tip for you. You are going to have some waste there, but I tend to save my scraps, and I usually find something to use for these little squares. There's something small I can usually punch out. Okay, so that is the inside, and I'm looking for my sentiment. Move that away. Bring back my stamp pad. I've got Merry Christmas. Now, I didn't really care for, you probably can't see it, how I position that on the stamp. The Merry was not quite right. I'm going to move that down a little bit more so the M is closer to the Christmas. Okay, and just a light tap, tap, tap on your stamp pad. Oop, and I see I didn't get ink towards the bottom. It's one nice thing about that photopolymer is you can tell if you've got enough ink on your stamp. There, that looks a little more even to me. This Mary was a little bit to the right. Now it's a little bit to the center. Okay, I'm gonna move my ink pad out of the way so I don't get anything in my sleeves in my ink pad or extra paper in the ink pad. And then just center it. So my tip is to center your paper, press, but don't depress. Don't press all the way down. Make sure you're still centered and then press the rest of the way. And there you've got a perfect punch out. Okay, I'm done with that. I'm done with my punch. I am done with stamping. So let's get to the assembly part. Oh, and you saw a little bit there. That was my little cheat sheet with all my measurements. Okay, so I mentioned that this was scrap, and it is scrap. It's this print. Now what's left isn't very pretty. It's not a full image. It's just tops and bottoms of things. So I wanted to cover that up. And this strip is measured 2.5 by 3.5 centimeters, or 6.5 by 8.8 centimeters. I wanted to cover it up, but still you can see a little bit of the festivity-ness, if that's even a word, underneath it. And because this, I made my tag long, like a tag would be normally on a gift. And this paper, or this pattern, is oriented horizontal and not vertical. So that's why this is the back side and not the front side. Okay, and then the opposite side, we've got this stripe. I've got some paper here. I've got two pieces. This is what's going to go on the top. Now, again, I mentioned I'm using up my scrap pile. I was out of, well, I shouldn't say I was out, but I have odd sizes. So this tag, I went from right to left. This one, we're just going to kind of make a mat. And this piece is 1.5 by 2.5 inches. Oh, that's cute on that side too. I just love this pattern. The trees, just something about it. I think maybe it reminds me of the old time Santa Claus is Coming to Town. That stop animation version that I grew up with. All right, so this was, did I mention 1.5 by 2.5 inches or 3.2 by 6.5 inches? So we got two different looks there. Now, I do have to bring back my paper piercing mat back in because we're going to make some holes. And I think I'm going to go through all of the layers just in the center. So I go both sides, just make sure that hole is large enough. And we're going to grab our punch shape. Oh, I got two eyeballs watching me this Saturday morning here in North America. Hope you had a great day yesterday and that you did the dishes yesterday and everything's cleaned up in the kitchen and you're ready to go today. Ready to have leftovers, right? All right, Merry Christmas. Now, in the July to December catalog, we have these fun little shapes. I use this shape for doors on my haunted houses. You can see I haven't used the purple ones much at all. A little bit on the sides. That's surprising because I always use purple first. But these greenish ones, and I'm not sure if these were colors. I'm sure they were colors. Kind of looks like soft seafoam. Coordinate really well and fill in down here. 3, of course, to kind of bling it up. Looks like I have 1, 2, I can make 3 more of these Peekaboo gift tags. Just like that. All right, now my Peekaboo treat bag is right here. You know, if I have time, I might step away and get some treats and shove them in there. Forgot to bring the bag over here. All right, now we just need a little bit for the inside here. And again, another scrap. This scrap is 1.5 by 3 inches or 4 by 7.5 centimeters. It can't be really big because this bag isn't really big. There's a zip on this. Okay, so you don't want O-O-O, you want ho-ho-ho. So make sure you put it in the right way. And I haven't been securing this paper in there. You can see it's a pretty tight fit. Because once you put a treat on it, it'll stay where it needs to stay. All right, now let's see here. Maybe I'm gonna step away and get some treats if you don't mind. It's just right across my carpeted area. Okay, I've got teats. These are 1/2 ounce each. Just so you can see the size. This is pretty small. You could put a gift card in here. 2 of these. And then another thing about this treat bag is it will stand up if you kind of open it up. It'll stand up there and make a little perfect little place marker. So you could write somebody's name right there if they're coming over for a craft your noon tea or for a holiday meal. Just a nice little table favor so you know, so people know you are thinking about them prior to them coming over. All right, now another trick that I always do, and it seems to work, is I tie my bows upside down. Well, let's get some length here. And if you can see, there are notches. There's a notch on this bag, either side. So I'm just meeting up my ends. So the linen thread fits perfectly in the notches is what I was getting at. Right now I'm concentrating on making sure my ends are about the same size. And then, well, we can put them both through at the same time. Since we have Stampin' Right markers, you can color coordinate your tags. You don't have to use plain old ballpoint blue or black. You can certainly use this shaded spruce. Fill in your tag on the back. So one thing that really attracted to me, well, a lot of things I like about Stampin' Up, but way back when, it was so hard to find coordinating products. I really did not like the fact that in the stores, the inks didn't match the papers, didn't match the ribbons, and Stampin' Up had that way back when. They had that down pat, and they still do. So we've got markers and ink pads, ribbons, papers, solid, and the pattern. So this is a shaded spruce pattern. All color coordinate easily. I don't have to think about it. Quick, easy. How cute is that? Love it. Okay, now I should have been color coordinated and put some color coordinated treats in there. Something green. The M&Ms are red and green, although these are food safe bags, but I guess if you put naked candy in there, like the M&Ms that I'm thinking of, like the baking ones, which would be loose and not prepackaged, I'm not sure if the DSP probably is not food safe with all the ink on there, but the bag is. It is lined. It's got a little plastic liner, so you could put something in there if you don't put in this little DSP liner. Okay, all right, so that's it. That's it for my quick and cute treat bag. My tip again was that you would, let me find this again, stamp your image for the punch at a diagonal and not a square, because the punch is at a diagonal. All right, I'm going to clean up my mess, and then I will be back for my second demonstration video. It's another one using all those scraps. So hope you join me for the second one. Bye.